Hi, Paul Thompson from Twang Tuition here. I'd like to offer you a huge warm welcome to my YouTube channel and to this week's tutorial. Well, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the beautiful diatonic chord scale. And it's a really important subject because this is the science behind how chords are glued together in families. Okay, so you could refer to them as chord families. It's how songs are written. And it's how chord progressions are put together, and sometimes I think there's a tendency to overcomplicate this, so I'm going to really give you a simple tutorial so hopefully that you'll really understand it and get to grips with how chord sequences are put together. I hope you enjoy it, so without further ado, let's get on with the tutorial. Okay, the diatonic chord scale then. Now, diatonic is just really another word for a major scale. So basically, to simplify it, this is a major scaling chord form, and I'm using the example in the key of G major, okay, just because it's easy to map around the fretboard and show you exactly how it works. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to follow the intervals of the major scale. Hopefully you'll recognise how that scale sounds, and it's also important to remember the intervals of the major scale. Now I'm going to map that scale along the bottom E string, because at each position on that scale we're going to assign a chord. Okay, so the intervals of the major scale: root note, we're going up the scale ascending tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Okay, one more time. So as you can hear, I'm mapping that major scale along that bottom E string. And as I said before, at each point in that major scale we can assign a chord. Now some are major and some are minor, and this has to follow the certain rules for which are major and which are minor. And I'll explain that in a second. So first of all, I'm going to demonstrate those chords in sequence. Okay, here we go. Getting a bit tight. Okay, so hopefully you'll hear that major scale in that chord sequence there. Now I'll just go through the chord denominations or the chord voicings in those positions. Okay, so we've got G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp diminished, or F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and then back to G major in the octave. Can't get my fingers in there, it's really tight. So we don't always go up those chords or use those chords in those positions. But I'm just using that to demonstrate the sound of that chord scale. So I could play it a little bit differently. I could play it A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and back to G. Okay, now all those chords are all related to each other, and they're all in what we call the chord family. So if you were writing a song in G major, you'd start on a G major chord. Okay, and you could put any one or all of those chords, don't have to be all of them, you could just keep to two or three chords. And if you started and finished on the G major chord, then you'd have a little chord sequence to write a song with. Okay, and I just gave you a demonstration there in the intro, but we can assign any chord sequence. I'll just make one up. Okay. Okay, so I can improvise around those that chord family, and we've got an infinite number of chord sequences we can use. We don't have to keep to bar chords, so we've got the same sequence, and again it's easy in G major because there's a lot of open chord shapes in there. So we've got G major, A minor, B minor we have to play as a bar chord, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp diminished, or F sharp minor 7 flat 5. There we have it. Now the glue that sticks those chords together are the notes from the G major scale. So the reason why those chords have to be major and some have to be major, some are minor in those positions is that all those chords contain notes from the G major scale. If I mix those up, if I mix those chord sounds up and play some differently in the majors and the minors and swap those around, you'll hear how awful it sounds. So again, you can hear that it doesn't work. That's because if I change around the chord voicings, I'm straying outside that G major, that diatonic G major scale, so the chords won't work. And this, like I said, this is how millions of songs are put together. So it's a really nice way just to improvise over chords and work out some different chord sequences. Now we can also change those chord voicings for major sevenths, minor sevenths, and dominant sevenths. Okay, but again, it has to follow a certain rule. So we can replace the other thing to say is that when we refer to the different chords in this diatonic chord scale, we give them a number 1 to 7. Okay, so obviously the first one, G major, is 1 and 2 and then 3, 4, 5 and so on. Okay, so when we refer to the different chords, we refer to them as 1, 3, 4, 5 to give you the different the chord sequences. So the most common is the 1, 4, 5 chord sequence, which uses the 3 major chords. So that 3 chord trick there. That's the 1, 4, 5 chord sequence, G, C, and D. Now I was going to say we can change those chord voicings around for major sevenths, minor sevenths, and dominant sevenths. So the first chord, the G major, can be changed to a major 7, and the fourth chord, the C major, can be changed to a major 7. The fifth chord, the D major, cannot be, because the major 7 note takes it once again outside the G major scale, but it can be a dominant 7th, and indeed its position as the 5th chord in the sequence is highlighted as a dominant 7th chord, so that can be a dominant 7th. The minor chords, the minor chords that I demonstrated, can be played as minor 7s. They can all be played as minor 7s. So we can, instead of an A minor, B minor 7, and the E minor 7. And they again have some really nice different variations in terms of your chord sounds. Okay, so that sounds really nice to change those denominations around sometimes. Now, probably another important thing to cover is that if you were in a minor key, if you were playing kind of in a rock sort of rock chord sequence, so that major scale sequence there that I've just used, it's quite a laid back sort of nice easy listening kind of chord sequence. If I was to play in a minor key, we don't have a different scale for the minor keys. We use what we call a relative minor, which carries the chord, the minor chord, at the 6th position of that diatonic chord scale, gives us the minor key. So again, I can use all the same chords, but this time I'm going to play in the key of E minor to give a more rocky kind of heavier sequence. Okay, so can you hear there, instead of finishing on G major, I was starting and finishing on the E minor, which gives us that minor sound. All the chords are exactly the same. Okay, sounds great. So this applies to any key as well. This applies to any key. So all that happens, if we moved it into the key of A major, for example, then the chord voicings stay exactly the same, but we transpose everything into the key of A major, i.e. up a full tone, and then on all the chords will then relate to A major. So A major, B minor, C sharp minor, D major, E major, F sharp minor, and G sharp diminished, or G sharp minor 7 flat 5, and then that's it. So everything transposes into other keys. And if you're going to create solos around that, then again your melodies would come from the if we relate back to G major. Then your solos would come from the G major scale or the G major pentatonic scale. Okay, and that's how we create the chord sequences and the melodies that go along with them. Okay, I hope you found that useful. If you have found it useful, then please subscribe to my channel for your weekly tutorials. And I've also got a completely free beginner's guitar course, 26 lesson beginner's guitar course on here. 10 hours worth of video, takes you from never having picked up a guitar before to playing at a really good level. So check that out. It is completely free. All I'd ask is that you subscribe to my channel, and also for the music sheets, then you can download the music sheets from my Patreon page as well. So check that out. Okay, and I hope you get on with those chords. Okay, if you've any questions, then please drop me a line, and I'm happy to answer them. And thanks very much. Well, there we have it for another week. Many thanks for joining me. I hope you get on okay with that. Is there any questions or anything else you'd like me to cover or elaborate on this week's lesson, then please drop me a line. I'm more than happy to do so. I hope you get on okay, and that you're able to put some nice little chord progressions and hopefully write some songs from all that. That's the ultimate gain. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel for weekly tutorials. Follow us on all the usual social media channels: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And thanks very much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next time.